Hello, my name's Shawn Plunkett. To learn more about our production of A Complicated Hope and the Left Hand Productions, listen to this conversation. Interestingly enough, I fell in love with the theater probably when I was 10 years old. Um, and I kind of left the theater because as a kid, I didn't have, the vehicle to stay in it. And I rediscovered theater again when my son was about 5 or 6 when he got into a children's theater group. And it just rekindled my love for it, and I wanted to do whatever I could to be back on stage, but just be a part of live theater experiences. My love of acting turned into an obsession probably about, I would say, 5 years ago. Again, when I made the decision that I wanted to get back into acting, I jumped in with both feet and did everything. I started auditioning right away, and then thought, maybe I should take some classes. So I kind of did that backwards, but I jumped into television auditions, theater auditions, commercial, everything I can get my hands on, just really to gain as much experience as I could. Theater is a unique experience, our format, because it involves everybody. Everyone on stage is affected by everyone in the audience and vice versa. The beautiful thing about theater is every single night is different. Every performance is different. And every single audience member affects that. So some nights when you have a vocal audience, things change, or you have an audience that laughs at a part in the show that you weren't expecting, or you could just hear the gasp, if you're a bad person, or you're playing a villain. All those things really just add to the experience. And for me, because it's live and we're all sharing it, you feel like you're part of something bigger than just watching TV or watching a movie. You're really sharing a part of your life with everybody in the building. Left Hand Productions was created around 2020, pretty much in the height of the pandemic, and solely for the reason that I was looking for an artistic outlet and a way to kind of do my own thing, but also perform theater in a manner that I thought could closest resemble live theater during that time when we weren't able to do it. I wasn't really excited about the Zoom play format. To me, they're very static. And so I came up with an idea, and I sat down with some friends, and we came up with what I called live hybrid theater. And I formed Left Hand Productions in order to make that happen. And it was really kind of an acid test of what level can we take, this online theater experience to. So we were able to do a live show on YouTube. We used 4 different cameras. We used a mobile camera that can move with the actors. We used video elements, and really kind of just really sparked me knowing that, if I put my mind to it, I can actually, bring things out that people would like and enjoy. First became aware of A Complicated Hope, I would say a little over a year ago. I had actually performed a Zoom play of John Mabey's that was called Castles in the Zoom. And I enjoyed the way he writes. The way he writes is very conversational, very realistic. But before that play had come out, he had sent a few different ones to the theater that I'm involved with for us to do readings of, and Complicated Hope was one of them. So the moment I read it, it was special to me. I identified with the character that I'm playing. I identified with the story and all the just the ins and outs of it, and I was obsessed with it from the get-go. We ended up doing a reading of that at Kentwood Players, which I got to play the role of Arnie. And in doing that, it was such a great experience. But I really got to know John, I think, pretty well, and we talked a lot about the play, and it just left me with this hole in my heart because I was able to do a reading of it, but it needed to be staged. It needed to be seen. And at the time when I was wanting to do it and talking to John, it hadn't been staged yet. There'd been a few readings throughout the country, but no one had staged it at the time. And then, fast forward, it's been done a couple of times on the East Coast, but this will be the West Coast premiere. The main characters in A Complicated Hope are Arnie, Rosemary, and Marie. And basically, they're sharing an experience of grief and death and loss. And this show takes you through that journey. And it's what's interesting about this play is that it's it jumps 10 years ahead, 10 years back, and it doesn't follow that normal format of how a play starts with the beginning and an ending. They're there, but they're jumbled, and they very closely, to me, resemble what grief is. We talk about the 5 stages of grief and how people go through the process, but no one does it the same. No one grieves the same. No one even interacts with people the same when they're going through that. And so, without giving away the nuances of the play, it's just kind of highlights how people deal with loss and what loss means to them. But at the same time, what's beautiful about this play is it deals with, race relations and sexuality and classism and all these things that we are dealing with now in modern times. But what's great about it is it's showing you insight from pretty much every angle you can think of. And it's never beating you over the head with what the moral of the story is. So it doesn't matter who the person is. They're watching the show, and they're going to identify with something at some point. And hopefully it's one of the actors. Hopefully it's all the actors. But you're going to find something in the story that's going to kind of jar a memory inside you and affect you. So there are some kind of shifts and surprises and turns in this play that make it's going to make the audience go, what is going on? What are these guys doing? But again, I think, when you're in that raw state, you don't have a good reason for a lot of the things you do. You just exist. And as human beings, we're always searching for connection, an emotional connection, even a physical connection. And so when you have someone such as Arnie, who I play, who really hasn't had that in their life, it's the most important thing to them. So they'll continue to search until they get it. And even in some points, they continue to search even after they've gotten it. And so it's just, to me, it's a very special story. It hit me right away, and there's so many things I identify with, and I think it's an important story to tell, and it's going to spark a lot of conversation with the audience. That really, to me, that's the best part of theater, when you can walk away going, this is what I think, or you have a question you want to ask the person next to you, or you'd like, if I could only sit down with the writer and ask them that, I would. So I'm really excited to bring this to people in a live format. Playing Rose Marie is Danielle Davis, who is a young actress who grew up doing theater, and she is amazing. Even though she's the youngest one in the cast, she holds her own. Her character of Rose Marie has to be strong and has to be willing to stand up to people, but also, be soft and have a heart. And she's able to do that easily. And she's really great. So far, it's been an amazing experience. Definitely wise beyond her years when it comes to stage acting. And so far, I just love her. Playing Marie, the mother, is Faylie Patrice. She has a very long list of theater experience. And again, she's such a strong person, and that's who Marie is. Just very strong, very sure of herself, never takes no for an answer, and kind of has to win. And Faylie is that. She can do that, and she's really strong, and takes the stage and really kind of commands a presence, and it's beautiful. And for me, playing Arnie, playing off of these two actors just really makes my job a lot easier. It's a very heavy piece. I go through a lot of different emotions, as you do with grief, but being able to play off these two strong actors just makes me feel safe in doing so. So we can really kind of get into the meat of the characters and really bring forth a beautiful show. Right now, I'm just so excited about how things are going, and it's building so well, and it's becoming just a beautiful piece. John Mabey's writing, to me, what makes it unique in a lot of ways is really that everything I've read of his just sounds real, meaning that it's a conservation of words. A lot of times playwrights want to write all the words that they're thinking, and I think a lot of times, me included, you write something down and you don't say it out loud. And when you hear it out loud for the first time, you realize no one talks like that. Nobody says that many words, but his is just very realistic, and it's very unique in that way. Again, being personally experiencing working on two of his pieces, I never really found any of the writing to be kind of like how can I fix that so it sounds right? It just rolls off the tongue. I think mainly that's super unique, and that's what makes a play stand out from others. Other than that, I think, John has an amazing soul, and he's very empathetic, and he also does the research. He doesn't just write things. He puts a lot of work and effort into backstory and understanding where the characters are coming from and how to shape them so that they're realistic. One of the things he had said to me is that he doesn't write for other people's perspectives, meaning he's not telling a story that he has no business telling, which, none of us should do. But when he's telling a story from that perspective, he involves other people and does the research in order to tell it in a realistic way without assuming anything. And I think in A Complicated Hope, you'll see that the realism in these relationships and the way we speak and the conversations that we have. What I want the audience to get out of A Complicated Hope is really a sense of belonging, and that meaning that, again, you identify with the things these people are going through. So those little pieces, those little nuances that hit you in the heart, that you keep those, and you kind of get the idea, especially in this day and age, that you're not alone, whatever it is, whether it be grief or anger or, the political situation or any of those things, that these experiences that we have are never singular, and they're never ours alone. Of course, we all experience things differently because we are us, but you're never completely alone. There's always someone kind of sharing that experience. And with loss, I think you tend to feel like that you're the only person experiencing, so you fall down that hole. But also with love, the love, we all search for it, whether we want to admit it or not. But it's kind of a lonely experience too when you haven't found it, and even when you found it and it's not, the love that you thought it was. All of these things, these are shared experiences. So I want our audience to walk away identifying with these characters in some way, shape, or form. And ultimately, I want them to go to dinner, and I want them to have a conversation about it. And I want them to talk about it and have theories and even have arguments about what they thought this meant, because that's, to me, is the best theater. What I'm looking forward to most when performing this piece, well, my goal always as an actor is to embody the character and become the character. I want to feel like the walls and the seats and the people have washed away, knowing they'll always be there. But I want to fully envelop myself in that world and become Arnie and live that life with these other two characters. And I always feel like when I can see that on stage from an actor, it's so authentic and so real that I forget as an audience member that I'm sitting there watching a show. I'm living the life with them, and that's my ultimate goal, especially with A Complicated Hope, because it touches on so many things that are important to me. I want to live that life. I want everything that happens to me that I experience to be real and be genuine. And I want to take the audience on that ride with me. I think people must come see A Complicated Hope because, number one, I believe that this show is going to keep on going and growing. And with an intimate theater experience such as the one we have, you get to be the first, and you get to be right there as it happens. Number two, like I've said before, I think that this touches on so many important pieces of our lives that it's going to affect you very differently than a lot of other theater pieces do. And ultimately, we need people to experience theater again. I really believe that theater is one of the most beautiful art forms we have, and one of the best experiences an audience can have. And I think, especially in Los Angeles, when people think of entertainment, there's so many different things for them to do. They almost forget theater, and they also forget intimate theater and being up close and personal with the actors as they present a show. It's amazing. And I want to pack this theater with people who are passionate about theater, and I want them to tell their friends all about it. And they'll be some of the first people to say, "Oh, I saw that when it was here." Well, I think actors, producers, directors, all creatives would have a great opportunity to work with Left Hand Productions, because I only work on things that I'm passionate about. everything that I've done, which isn't a lot yet, we don't have a big catalog, has come to me really kind of authentically. And they've affected me. And when I work on a project like that, I don't stop. I'm singular minded and I work to the end. And I'm constantly trying to figure out how I can make the best show possible. So to that end, if I don't know it, I learn it. If I can't learn it, I find the people that do know it. I research it, and I make the best possible product I can. Basically, I'm not interested in making mediocre. So I'm going to go as far as I can and, spend the money, spend the time, learn the things that I have to learn in order to make the best possible thing I can. And I think, this is ground floor for me. Every production I do, I learn so much that the next production is just going to get better because of it. Well, I think small theater, small production companies like Left Hand Productions, again, they work off of passion. So, profit is secondary. And when profit is secondary, it's hard to do the next production. But for me, especially when it comes to theatrical productions, I think that a lot of it has gotten lost, and people forget that there's a whole new generation growing up that would be interested in theater if they could be exposed to it. So for me, especially having a son that's 13 who just absolutely lives for theater, being able to give another avenue for an actor, another place for them to work their craft, or even to be inspired to do their own thing is so important. So if people out there wanted to, donate to me, that'd be great. But if they want to get involved and donate to their local theater, their local schools that have, performing arts programs, you have no idea how important that is and how little money those programs work on. So I would say if you've got an extra couple of bucks, find a theater company that's local to you, or find a school that has a performing arts program and give them your money, give them your time, whatever you have. My hopes and dreams for the Left Hand Productions is to keep on doing projects that I'm passionate about. I hope the bigger we get as far as the purview of the people around us, the better our opportunities are. I love collaborating. I love working with people I've never met, reading new stories, and I'm not tied down to one particular type of production. We've done short films, we've done live on YouTube things. We're doing our first in-person live theater project. I'm ready to do everything and anything. So collaborating with new people and getting new works that I haven't heard about, and bringing something to light that no one's ever done. That sounds amazing, and I couldn't be happier to do something like that. I would like to just tell everybody that A Complicated Hope is a special show. It's special to me. It's an important piece. I don't think anybody will not be affected by it. I would love to fill the seats and fill the theater and get as many people to experience a special thing with us. And it would mean so much to me to be able to say, we sold out. I'm sorry, there's no more room. Hello, my name is Shawn Plunkett. I play Arnie in A Complicated Hope from the Left Hand Productions. I would like to invite everybody to come out and see this play at New Collective Theater in Hollywood at 6440 Santa Monica Boulevard, and we'll see you there.